Hi everybody. So today this is definitely going to be some random thoughts. This is not what I had intended to talk about today, um, because I think this is way more important. So um, what's the central theme here today? Okay, so I stole this. So I'm not this creative. I'm going to get through this. I promise. Here's an idea for you. Something to think about. Let go of what you want to get what you need. So, let go of what you want to get what you need. What does that mean? Well, it's a matter of self-evaluation. You know, um, we have a pattern that we have. We used to call it the American dream. Um, Usually turns into the American nightmare. You know, there are certain things that we have isolated in our society that we think are going to make us complete. You know, well, I'm going to go through high school, and then I'm going to go to a trade school or learn a skill, or I'm going to go to college, and then after I get done with that, then I'm going to be able to get that good job, and then I'm going to find me a partner, and we're going to build this life together, and then maybe we're going to have kids, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do the other. And the whole time, what we're looking for is some kind of importance, some kind of significance in our life. And I want to challenge you, because this has challenged me to the core over the last hour or so. Uh, it's a thought that I don't know. I'm not sure why it's never crossed my mind. I'm not sure why this philosophy has never really come to bear in my mind of, why are we reaching for these things? Well, why are we reaching for stuff that we see other people who have them and they're not fulfilled? But is it somehow going to be different for us? Is there a magical formula that is going to help us find some kind of meaning in our life? You know, is self-fulfillment really the end all for everything that we do? Is this all there is? You know, isn't there more to the equation than just what we can get? I see this in I'm sorry, but I see it in virtually every avenue of life. Politics. I don't. I mean, seriously, can you not see that they're pulling us around by a flipping chain? And every time something happens, they suddenly, oh, it's the other party's fault. Well, really? And how about it's individuals' fault? In this country, we don't have group rights. We have individual rights. You have a right as an individual to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, blah, blah, blah. All that other stuff, not blah, blah, blah. I'm not, but you know what I mean. Uh, but we want to pick fights. We want to divide. We want to have an us against them. Do, do you think that's ever worked out really well? I don't know if many of you remember, uh, but in the late 1800s, somehow we thought that was a good idea. It, it, More Americans died in that conflict than all the other conflicts put together. Why do you think that is? Because seeking for yourself and seeking what benefits you over over what is good for everyone else. That's not right. We're not the center of the universe. Everything in the world doesn't revolve around us. Our happiness is us finding what we think is going to bring happiness. Never brings happiness. How many times? I want you to think. Question yourself here. I don't want you to ask your neighbor, your husband, your wife, your spouse, whatever, about why aren't I happy? It's not their fault that you're not happy. Blaming another human being for your mental state is lunacy. Maybe, just maybe, you have been grabbing on so hard to something that you have decided is the thing that's going to make you happy that you've missed out on the very thing that will bring you the joy that you're so desperately looking for. You know, it's a kind of a, and I say this a lot, as a person who has had a lot and had none. It doesn't change who you are. You know, when you lay down to sleep at night, the only difference between having and not having is what you're laying on. It doesn't change who you are as a person. You know, I've used this reference before. I hear people saying, well, if I won the lottery, you know, I would donate this much money here, and I would do this, and I would build that, and I'd do the other. What are you doing right now? Are you doing any of that now at the level that you are? Are we really, is that really who we are? Or is that who we want to believe that we are? Well, I challenge you to be that person. I challenge you to step into that role. That person, if you had everything in your life exactly the way that you wanted it, let's just pretend. Mr. Rogers, we're going to go to the land of make-believe. And we're going to make believe that you've got the job you want, that you've got the car you want, that you have the bank account that you want. What would you be doing? My challenge to you is to do that thing. Don't wait for the money. Don't wait for the spouse. Don't wait for the job. Don't wait for any of that. Those things might never come. You know, there is no guarantee in our life that the things that we keep our focus on are ever going to come to fruition. I've watched The Secret. It's BS. Okay? It's a total freaking lie. You thinking about it is not going to be the thing that brings it to you. You doing something about it is what's going to bring it to you. And I want to ask you something. If right now, if you could find Aladdin's lamp and you had 3 wishes to make, would any of those wishes be about anybody beside yourself? Does anything that you spend your life working for and thinking about, is it going to impact anybody more than yourself? Or is it all about us? Is it all about me? I mean, you know, I'm not a young man. And I can tell you from my personal experience that every time that I have chased something that was simply for me to heap on myself, I want this. I want this kind of partner. I want this kind of job. I want this kind of whatever it is. And then you have those things, and guess what? You're still the same person. There's only one thing that can change who you are, and that's you. You can't look to another person. You can't look to a political party. You can't look to a bank account. None of those things are going to change who you are. When you go to bed at night, when you're sitting in your room alone, that's who you are. Well, I don't like that. I can't do that. You know, I know people who can't stand silence. You know, I'm not a person who's going to sit in a room with no noise. I'm a musician. You know, I listen to music all the time. But what does it say about us as a person when we can't handle being in our own skin? I would challenge you to evaluate who you are, where you're going, and what's the priority. What's the most important thing in your life? Is it gaining things? Is it getting stuff? Is stuff the most important thing in your life? Or is being an impact to your community? Reaching out to those who need help? Are we doing any of that? Well, if my situation was different, I would. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. If you're not going to do it now, if I'm not willing to do it now in the place where I am, every part of my life could change 100%, and it would not change the fact that I'm still not doing those things. Because that's who we actually are. Those things that we get are not going to change who we are as a person. We have to make that change. We have to be that change. So I challenge you, take a look at yourself. Look in the mirror first. You want to find out what's gone wrong with your life? I believe we really need to sit down. And again, the thought, let go of what you want to get what you need. Don't be afraid to get out of the boat, as the old saying goes. All right. Thanks for stopping in. It's been nice talking to you. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.